Hi, welcome to stream. We find ourselves once again in the middle of some battle, in the middle of Abyss, as usual. Which seems to have become my standard warm-up for these streams. Hope you're doing well. Today we are going to look at the second part of chapter 21. If you remember, last time we saw that Uhura was well alive again, although slightly darker than we remembered her. We followed her as she went on a chase through... what's her name's gauntlets of enemies? Not Anubis. Chakal. And search for her friend Kevin, who she in the end managed to find. Then we did end on a cliffhanger as those two were about to confront each other, if I remember correctly. We also encountered some very long story sections, if I recall, and I am pretty sure more of these will happen today as well, so look forward to that. But first, I'll have to take care of this, as well as 2 more battles afterwards, so that I do not forget about them. Very intensive. This week's Super String Dimension Abyss is Ice Elemental, so I am not worried about it at all. Probably my favorite weather. Not like Benares can do anything against me at this point. Go dragon, go to sleep. And our random not ice elemental is ranged damage. How do you range does that? For range damage, you want to stay in this lamplight, because as long as you do, range damage does more damage. Or the enemies need to be in the range of the drone's light, at least. Surprisingly, in the first part of Chapter 21, we did not actually find out what happened to Kiana and Bronya after Chapter 20. I wonder how long that will stay a mystery. Tiny Tesla is always fun to have around. Come on, let me attack you. Stop it with the black holes. Can you come over here in the light, please? So that I can actually damage you? No. Oh. Your shield was broken at the exact time I wanted you to move. That's my bad. But now please die. So that we may move on to the main part of the stream. Battles have been finalized. We are in second place. Not bad. Not bad at all. I clicked on back. Go back, please. So, chapter 20... No. Chapter 21. Wings of Awakening, part 2. Starting now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 regular stages, 1 extra stage, 2 probably long story stages, and 3 cutscenes. Let's go. Lying in the shade cast by a huge rock, Hua was casually humming a familiar tune with her eyes closed. She needed to unwind. A few hours ago she fought the strongest warrior there is, and she had a blast, and we did not get to see that, I guess. Also, she got what she came for.
やめるんですか?
ああ、これでいい。
Kevin sheathed his blade.
どうです?あの家権運用。天下の劣化をあんな風に無効化できると知らなかったでしょ?
家権?
ああ、当時私たちが使ってた格闘術の家系ですよ。号に従って名前を変えてみました。ああ、機会は多くありませんし、あなたが相手だと隙をつかむのも難しいです。
まだやりたい?
いえいえ、もう十分です。これで私が本人だと信じてくれますよね?
Kevin lifted his right hand and put it near his heart, while gazing into the heavens up above. Nothing there. Huh? No voice acting?
ああ、君はここにいる。
He extended his hand and opened his palm. A fang hung down, rested upon it.
これを君に返そう、フワ。
Well, thank you. Kevin said in a soft and low voice. The plume slowly drifted towards Hua, and she grasped grasped instantly.
まだこれが目的だと言っていませんでしたが、私の考えがよくわかるんですね。ありがとうございます。
これからどこに行く？
わかりません。まずは自分自身について整理をしてから考えようと思います。返さなければいけない恩がありますし、世話が必要な仲間たちもいます。それに、崩壊のことも。休める時間も限られてますし、急ぐ必要はありません。これから共に戦う機会もあるかもしれませんね。
Karen seemed to find it amusing.
ヨルムンガンドに入る？
I do not think she will.
遠慮します。そもそもあなたがいつ戻ったかすらわかりませんでした。オットーに、
Who signaled a headshot with her hand?
その後のことは何もわかりません。
羽に聞いてみるといい。彼女が教えてくれるさ。
ん？ええ、そうします。ヨルムンガンドに入るのはやめておきます。あなたの部下になるくらいなら、自分で組織を作ることにします。そういえば、昔、大巨派を作った気がしますが、まだ存在してるのでしょうか。
Good question.
わからない。ゆっくり思い出さないといけませんね。
それもいい。ヨルムンガンドには君に会いたくない者も何人かいるだろ
う。Who waved Kevin goodbye and left.
崩壊を倒す前に死なないでくださいね。そうだ、一つ伝えておきます。ここに来るように私に伝えたのは、オットー・アポカリプスです。彼と同盟を結んだようですね。彼のことはあまり信じない方がいいと思います。私をここに向かわせたのも、何か企みがあるに決まってます。
Never believe a word that Otto says. That's the main rule of this game.
う。ああ。
And he
わ
knows.
かっている。
オットーは私とケビンが共倒れになるのを待って、自分が漁夫の利を得るつもりだった。
Who told herself?
そんな手口で私を騙せるとでも？ほら、私はこうも簡単に羽を奪い返した。
She took out the Fenghuang down and showed it off to herself. It could be a trap.
罠？ありえない。さっきの手合わせをあなたも見たでしょ？ケビンが私よりも都政の羽を理解することはありえない。
I mean, it depends what kind of memory is stored in it.
でも、
The reminder did work to a certain degree. I started to have a strange feeling about the plume.
他の羽と違う。封印がかかってる。
She tried to awaken this feather, but to no avail.
本気を出す。
Who nipped the plume and filled it with Honkai energy.
はっ！
Well, hello there. The plume was awakened. Who sized up the shadow that emerged from the feather. It looked faint, and its eyes were closed.
エネルギーがもうすぐ尽きる。ケビンのやつがあなたをこんな風にしたの？
Oh, is this the one that was inside Kiana for a while? She grasped the shadow by the wrist. It first shuddered in shock, but went calm very soon.
動かないで、力を渡すから。形を保つのも精一杯なのに、このままだといつ消えてもおかしくない。道理でケビンはあなたを封印した。
As she fueled more Honkai energy into the Fenghong down, the shadow grew clearer and began to open its eyes.
これでよし。
Fuhua let go of the shadow and clapped her hands.
戻ってきなさい。あなたは何者ですか？私はあなたの持ち主です。はあ、記憶もほとんど消えてるみたい。どんな状態でも私の分身です。こんな風になったあなたを見ると少し辛くなります。私が分身？ええ。あなたは都政の羽の一枚です。私が自分の人格と思考をコピーして作った個体です。なぜかあなたはケビンのところにいたので、私は死んでいましたので詳しくはわかりませんが、あなたを奪い返しました。理解できたのなら戻ってきて、力と記憶を私に渡しなさい。死んだ後の出来事を知りたいんです。
Surprisingly, the Fenghong down didn't seem to hear Hua at all. Instead, she studied Hua with curiosity.
なるほど。あなたはあの時の。
She sighed.
おっと、余計な真似をしてくれましたね。何をブツブツ言ってるんです？彼に殺された瞬間。その瞬間、私は都政の羽の大ゼロ定格出力を発動し、自分の意識を一枚の羽に移し、空の律者の存在を制圧しました。そういうこともあったみたいですが、確か、あの体は捨てられたもので、中に魂は入っていません。何が言いたいんです？私はここにいます。
The shadow repeated the question.
あなたは何者ですか？
Well, well, now we have two Fuhuas. That's getting out of hand. Act 2. This episode presents the debate between two Fuhua on their life experience and personal identity. Tuhua, yes, exactly. But we are playing as the Dark One. She was strolling above the clouds.
ご覧、いい景色でしょ？
The shadow was right by her side, quietly listening to her mutters.
高いところは好きじゃないです。高いところから見ると何もかも小さく見えて自信過剰になりがちです。でももう少し上へ行くと、雲の上だと、日差しも空気も気持ちよくて、見渡すと白い雲ばかり。宣教と似たようなところですね。そうだ。あなたには見えますか？あなたは実体がありません。その目はどうやって情報を取り込むんです？そういえば、私の話は聞こえますよね。鼓膜はありますか？聴覚はどういう仕組みで動いてます？ 都政の羽の力です。Who
Hua chuckled.
便利ですね。わからないことがあったら、都政の羽のせいにすればいいなんて。例えば記憶。私の脳にあるはずですよね。あの時、7人の弟子たちに頭をやられてから多くのことを忘れました。でもあなたは羽の中にいて、脳というものがないのに、あなたの記憶はどうなってます？多分答えは都政の羽だと思いますが。
It's the answer to everything.
そうだと思います。羽が弱った時、私もいろんなことが思い出せなくなりました。それです！
Hua clapped her hands.
ケビンのところにいた時は、羽も剥げかけていたから、きっと記憶も損傷を受けています。もしくは、鍵となる何かが壊れている可能性があります。だからあなたは自分のことを羽ではなく、自分が本人だと思い込んでしまった。理解はできます。意識の転移やコピーは自己認識のミスにつながりやすいです。オットーも私も同じようなことがありました。そのうち治ります。
Hua tried to comfort the shadow with a smile.
大丈夫。私が協力します。何せあなたは私の分身。私たちは姉妹みたいなものですから。
Well, this is some kind of insanity.
よく考え納得してから力を私に返しても遅くありません。はあ、返さなくてもいいです。私はケチな人ではありませんから。オットーにさえ羽を渡したんですから、1枚くらい気にしません。私と一緒に行きましょう。一人だと退屈ですから。どこに行くんです？
Hua fought hard and then broke the long silence with a broad smile.
退去山に戻りましょう。ずっと黙り込んでますが、大丈夫ですか？気分が悪いなら、私から好きなだけ崩壊エネルギーを吸収していいんですよ。せっかくあなたを助けたんです。消えて遠慮します。勝手にしてください。理解できません。何がです？どうして私にそんなに敵意を抱いているんです？私はあなた、あなたは私。私たちは二人で一つ。だからあなたは私のことをもっと理解できると思います。私は、自分こそが本物とか言わないでください。今は機嫌が悪いんです。気づいていないかもしれませんが、あなたの状況は正常ではありません。
You're literally on fire. Maybe it's that. Hua sniffed heavily.
それで？続きを言ってみなさい。あなたは本当に不可ですか？私が見る限り、あなたは彼女に似ていません。むしろ、全く違います。彼女の記憶を持っているかもしれませんし、彼女の体の中で目覚めたかもしれませんが、あなたは全く新しい存在です。
She speaks completely differently.
何バカなことを言ってるんです？私には彼女の体と記憶があります。私が彼女でないのなら、誰なのです？むしろおかしいのはあなたの方です。羽のくせに自分こそが本物のように振る舞って。 あなたはいつも子供を見るような目で私を見る。私が気づいていないとでも？私のことなら心配はいりませんよ。自分のことだけ心配してください。でも、あなたは一点だけ正しいことを言いました。ええ、昔の自分に束縛される必要はありません。今の私は新しい私です。かつての自分を真似する必要がどこにあるのです？私は自分らしくすればいいのです。
Okay, we
あな
switched.
たは過去の私。そう考えてもいいかもしれません。過去の私はそんなに良かった？そうでもないでしょ。ほら、私の友人。彼は過去に束縛されたかわいそうな人。メイ博士が死んだ時からあなたと彼はそっくりです。たかがメイ博士のためなんて、そんなの割に合います？彼女はもう、ケビンは人類のために戦っています。彼の覚悟はそんな簡単なものでは。人類のため？はっ、どいつもこいつもそればかり。例えば彼、人類のためだとばかり口にしてるけど、本当は死んだ女のためです。彼とケビンの同盟を知った時はびっくりしましたが、よく考えたら似たもの。まあ、彼のことはいい。一応彼に助けられたんですから。
You're sure giving me time to read.
なぜ私に彼らのことを見せたんです？そうしたいから。そうする力があるから。都政の羽は便利だから。それ、私がそうしたかったからです。過去の私。この恩知らずは死にました？思い出すのが面倒ですが、あなた、彼女は死にました。覚えてないですが、私が殺したわけじゃないみたいですね。はあ、昔の私は。
Yeah, it also doesn't give them time to
彼女たちに憎いで
speak,
すか？
that's true.
覚えてないなら憎しみもないでしょ。ただ、人を殺したら命をもって償うというのは当たり前です。死んでもらって当然です。陽子いかんというのはこういうことですね。もう同じ過ちは犯しません。
Okay, we are reaching the present.
聖フレイヤー、もう亡くなってわかりません。彼女たちは今どうしてます？わかりますか？現在からある時点までの記憶が欠けていますが、その以前のことなら教えられます。歩きながら話しましょう。
Ur waved her hand, and the girl's illusions were wiped away like water drops on a window glass.
一つ質問しても？どうぞ。どうして退去山に行くんです？あそこに新しいものはなく、何年も前に人々から忘れ去られています。
Ur fell silent as she pondered her words.
実は、
Ur halted the very moment her lips parted. It looks like she regretted answering the question.
私は目覚めたばかりです。わかります？何もわからない。頭が真っ白です。まるで生まれたばかりの赤ん坊です。赤ん坊に未来100年の人生計画を作れと言えますか？ でも私は計画をしました。だって仕方ないじゃないですか。私は不可ですから。不可にはやるべきことがあります。わかっています。ですが、やる気が出ません。逃げていると思われても構わない。確かに私は逃げています。自分の記憶を思い出すのも怖いです。でも時間も敵も仲間も待ってくれません。この事実を、自分自身を受け入れて不安にならないと。
Ua scratched her head.
家と呼べる場所に行ってみたい。悲壮本能かもしれません。そこに行ってみて帰る場所があると分かれば、自分のことを受け入れられると思います。
Absolutely calm. Absolutely. This could have very well been one cutscene after the other. But no, this had to be a stage for some reason. Because there was some gameplay. Ua was ambling in the mountain. Every now and then she would awaken a plume and absorb its power and memories, which were mostly surprises for her.
これもオットーのものでした。私の記憶の多くは他人からもらってるんですね。昔のやり方は気に入りませんね。
She gave the shadow form the Feng Huang down. No, she gave the shadow form the Feng Huang down a subtle look. Okay, I did read it correctly. It just looks weird.
あなたが私を見下してることも知ってます。あなたが心配です。心配するようなことはないでしょ。今までにない最高の状態です。悩みも心配もなく、目覚めてから初めて自由に感じました。
Freedom tastes like blooms, apparently.
そして私は自分が誰か分かりました。私は不可。それだけです。この大巨山は私の故郷。ここの何もかもが馴染み深くて新鮮で。この羽たちも記憶たちも私のものです。無数の可能性が私を待っていて、どう選べばいいのか分かりませんが、怖くありません。いくらでも道はあります。
It's nice to have choices.
これが貴族意識。私は大丈夫です。
Lots of listening today. Let's see if this is voice acted.
僕との婚約を履行しよう。僕が君を死なせたりしないことは分かっているだろう。
Seems we're continuing on with the story of Otto and Cullen, where we left off in the first one of these. In the darkness, he could hear Cullen Caslano's breath, but she felt so distant at the same time.
天命にとっては、私の生死も、あなたとの関係も、どうでもいいことなのよ。あなたの要求に応えれば、私は、主教がカスラナ家を操るための人質となるのでしょ。
あ
あ。Otto didn't lie to Cullen, because it wasn't the truth. Because it was the truth.
でもそれがどうした。表面上の婚約は今後もずっと表面上のものに過ぎない。大切なのは君が生きていることだ。カレン、君が生きていれば。
Cullen's indifferent voice came from the other side of the bars.
生きるのは大切なことかもしれない。でも自分の心を裏切って駒を演じるのは生きていると言えるのかしら。そうやって生きるくらいなら潔く死んだ方がいいわ。
He already knew her answer, and he could even anticipate her every word. But he could not accept it. Never! He had done so many things that she wouldn't agree to, just for one of her childhood wishes. What's one more? And this time it would be for a more noble cause, to save her life. But he didn't do anything. He clutched the icy steel bars, as if he was trying to crush them.
戻ってニコラス司教に伝えてちょうだい。カレンは彼の要求を拒否すると。これは彼女が自身で決めたと。天命のやり方には同意できないわ。天命がきらびやかな外見の中に隠した汚い考えにはもううんざりよ。私は決して己の命のために屈したりしないわ。カレン・カスラナは死を望むわ。これは私の戦い。そう、戦いよ。
Utter Apocalypse seemed to be paralyzed with despair.
本当に分かってるんだ。
A fierce yet soundless rainstorm fell in his heart.
だが僕は君を死なせはしない。何としてでも君がどう思おうと、僕は君を死なせはしない。
The dark dungeon then fell into a long silence. All of a sudden, Cullen broke into a soft laugh in the darkness.
ありがとう。私の偉大な発明家。
The sound of heartbreak was unexpectedly quiet. He waited patiently. He thought she had more to say to him, because he had so much more to say to her. But the silence lasted even longer than the last one. Words seemed to have become meaningless
お
between
酒
them.
は持ってる？少し飲みたいの。一杯だけでいいわ。
Crimson liquid trickled into the glass. Cullen gently swirled the wine, looking surprised.
これは私が送ったワインかしら。
ああ、
いいわね。
Cullen Kaslana drank the glass of wine in one gulp. She didn't say a word, and the glass turned into mist, which soon cleared.
もしかしたら どこか別の世界では。
Otto didn't hear the rest. He already left. Well then. Happy thoughts. This episode presents Fuha's trip to Mount Taisuan and her encounters with the local folks. One evasion skill. Let's not forget that one. Also, please prepare. Thank you.
「ここにも羽がありますね。
Ua picked up the feather with the faint glow.
多すぎでしょ。私は山にこんなに都政の羽を残したんですか？
The shadow made no response. She took a walk by the cliff. She sometimes buried herself in thought and sometimes looked into the horizon. Ua instilled some Honkai energy into the feather to awaken it.
あなたは。私はあなたの持ち主です。記憶と力を私に返しなさい。
A wisp of Honkai energy touched Ua gently and then retracted. The fang hung down, nodded, and faded.
あなたも彼女みたいにおとなしく言うことを聞いてくれたらいいのに。さて、この記憶は。
Ua closed her eyes. After a while, her face turned pale and twisted.
メイ博士でした。おそらくどうでもいい断片でしょう。残しても意味はありませんから、それらを取り出したんです。確かに意味はなかった。彼女が彼女の計画を話していただけです。
Ua spat in disgust.
私はどうして彼女に服従したんです？彼女の命令に従った結果、人類は全滅するほどの乾杯を経験し、終焉が消えるまでコールドスリープを使うしかなかった。
Cold sleep.
宇宙を探索する箱舟もどこに行ったかわからないし、漁師の海に入ったゴーザも音沙汰がありません。博士は敗者です。どうして全人類が彼女の指示に従うのかわかりません。彼女が立ち上がり、私たちを率いる責任を背負ったからです。人々は彼女の勇気と決心を信じました。知恵は信じてなかったってことですね。火を追う蛾のような勇気、共に滅びる決心、いいでしょう。とにかく今回、彼女の言うことは聞きません。オットーやケビンも同じです。すべて私が自分で決めます。私は万物を変えます。楽しみに待っててください。
That's a plan. Sure is a plan. Oh, greetings. Well, here's my equation.
ここは平和だったはずです。この辺りに100人前後の村があったのを覚えています。平和は私たちと関係ないでしょ。この世界に平和なんて言葉はあります。
Where are those two? You mean Kiana and Bronya? I think if we understood correctly, they weren't actually here, right? They were inside
これほど
Fuga's
ゾンビがい
memories
る
all
と
the
いうこ
time.
とは、あの村は危ないかもしれませんね。急ぎましょう。なんで？はい？あの村は私と関係ないでしょ？この世の災難はこんなにも多く、律者だって次から次へ。それは今はもう魔に落ちたものは死すべしというルールはないでしょ。それにメイ博士の心音はもう私たちの頭の中で指示。しかしあれが正しい行いです。何が正しいかは私が決めます。そもそも正しさはどこにあるのですか？助けが必要な人がいれば助ければいいし、いなければそれで構いません。この人助けは別にあなたの計画を邪魔しません。そうですね。人助けはして当然です。どうせついでですから。行ってみます。
Some huge person's palm. It was this lady's palm they walked on. Which makes me think that the previous chapter 20 actually might happen after this one. Chronologically, speaking. Like, she nests up in this place and then they are somehow trapped inside her. Who knows? I'm sure it will be revealed to us. Oh hey, it's Mount Fugu. Time does indeed not make sense. Possibly. Space definitely does not. That's the palm. It's easier to know someone else than yourself. One ultimate 25 hit combo. And our usual cast of characters.
ブローニャ戦場に到着しました。
I really don't like the flute sound. Kind of hurts my ears. Which is, I guess, why it is so stunning. Oh! What do we have here? Lance Rider? That sure is new. It's a creature type Quasi. Or biotype. Whatever. It's not a Honkai beast, at least, it's a zombie. Zombie horse. Is it in the list for characters? Oh, there isn't a list for characters for this battle. This episode follows the previous one and recounts some new and unexpected events. One evasion once again.
誰もいないですね。隠れているかもしれません。
Or they're all dead.
みんな死んでゾンビになったかもしれない。それもいい。今はゾンビを片付ければいいです。
Hua took a look at the statue afar, and all of a sudden, she signaled the shadow to be quiet with her finger.
シッ。音がします。
A rustling sound came from the building on the side, and after a while, a small girl slowly walked out of the shadow. Oh my. You are being corrupted, little lady. Even from afar, Hua could tell for sure that the girl's face and arms were giving up a sinister purple glow.
彼女は侵食されています。まだゾンビになってません。しかしあれではすでに。黙って。
Hua walked to the girl.
私たちを助けに来たの？
ええ、安心してください。
Hua crouched down and took a close look at the girl. Seconds later, she knew the girl was beyond saving.
ここで何があったのか教えてくれませんか？
みんなが急におかしくなって、さっきみんなが突然白くなってね、いっぱい攻撃してきて。
さっきというのは今日の出来事ですか？
The fang hung down, Shadow asked. The girl didn't hear.
ええ、きっと助けます。
Hua gently touched the girl's forehead to comfort her. She looked at Hua and seemed to have something to say.
少し待っていてください。いいですか？
The girl nodded and slowly closed her eyes.
どうするつもりです？彼女の仇を取ります。それは彼女の欲しがる救いではありません。そうするしかないのです。彼女がもう長くないことはあなたも知ってるはずです。私にできるのはこれくらいです。他に生存者がいないか探しましょう。いいでしょう。
Flutes again. You really like those.
Ah. 感じますか？
あ
あ。遠い先に大きい何かがいます。それが犯人かもしれません。
Proper introduction for beating a dead horse. But before we do that, let's listen to someone's story again. A young man in an indigo gown had been hiding in the forest for about an hour. Indigo, huh? It was a hot summer day, and it happened to rain last night. The thick forest was full of mosquitoes. He lifted the hem of his gown, trying to scratch the mosquito bites on his scarf. Hey, little nine, come help me. He rolled his eyes and felt displeased that his 8th senior fellow disciple ordered him about on purpose. Filthy blood of a monster stained the older disciple's white gown scarlet, and the stench made the younger one retch. Take this. The young disciple reached out his hand to catch the dark object thrown at him, without even realizing what it was. And when he took a closer look, it was a hunk of monster flesh, which obviously had been neatly and limply cut off. And closely resembled a huge chunk of Dong Po pork. It's still alive? The voice of the young man trembled even more violently than the hunk of monster meat. The older disciple kicked the monster's dead body away, remaining silent. He had waited for almost half a month to ambush this monster cub, until 3 days ago it was injured by his darts, so they finally found the chance to take it down. Only throbbing monster flesh can serve as the guide drug for the elixir. When they came back to their temple, the joss stick that was lit by the master hadn't burned a half. The younger disciple sighed with relief. If they came back after the joss stick burned out, the monster flesh would be devitalized and turn into sludge. The master, whose beard was longer than a broomstick, took the monster flesh, sniffed at it, and then nodded approvingly. 8, you come with me, and you wait at the door, little 9. Don't let anyone come closer. The master led the older disciple to the alchemy chamber in the depths of the temple, leaving the younger one to guard the entrance. The young man felt aggrieved. His master always asked the older disciples for assistance and ignored him. It used to always be the chief disciple, and after the chief disciple ran away, the second oldest became the master's favorite. Then the second betrayed the master and defected to enemies. So the third came up, then the fourth, fifth, sixth. As the 9th disciple, the young man finally started to see some hope in his life. That master is surely no good, yes. Everyone is leaving or betraying him. However, he didn't expect that his master's alchemy business would have succeeded before his turn. The young man let out a deep sigh and slumped down on the ground, gazing at the joystick. White smoke was straggling up into the sky, like his master and eight's ascension to the celestial world. and a thin wisp of black smoke followed behind, like his pathetic self. Wait! Why would there be black smoke? The young man stood up hurriedly. And found out the black smoke came from the chamber. Something wrong with Master's alchemy work? He shook his head, trying to clear such an unlucky thought. He ran to the alchemy chamber as fast as he could, putting aside the rules his master made. The black smoke thickened as he approached the alchemy chamber. Causing him to cough violently. The door of the chamber was already broken. And he could see his master's white beard in the distance. Phew, Master is fine. The young man rushed in. Only to find the beard was floating in the air. His master was standing on the head of a giant monster. And with an icy flash of steel, the master thrust the sword deep into the monster's skull. The monster growled, exhaling overpowering stench. The airflow was so violent that the young man was knocked down. He felt dizzy. And when he opened his eyes again, he saw the monster's fangs hanging within 2 meters of his head. And the monster looked familiar. Its eyes and brows reminded him of that monster cup. Is this the father avenging its cup? The young man felt his fear was about to burst out of his mouth. At the very moment, the master thrust the sword at the monster again. Right between its eyes. The monster immediately lost all strength and flopped onto the ground. The young man was so scared that he couldn't move an inch. In a daze, he seemed to see that the monster was staring at him. Just then, a tear rolled down its face. Yes, that was a drop of tear. The young man was sure. A drop of turbid, gory tear. Then the monster closed its eyes, and its body started to rot. It was eaten by that beast when protecting me. And the elixir was destroyed by it too. You are the only one by my side now, so I'll make you my chief disciple. Master, can I ask you a question? Only the chief disciple is allowed to ask. Go on. What does the elixir do? The master gave a mysterious smile. You'll know when you freely become the chief disciple. Well, that's ominous. If I'd make a guess, I'd say 8 turned into the monster after taking the elixir. But who knows, right? This episode records the story of Fugua mending a statue. One erasure once again. Hey there, horsey. What a hard battle. Hua returned to the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure stuck in one position for the whole fight. I didn't give it a chance to show off any moves after evading the first one.
大丈夫。悪い奴はみんな倒しました。
Hua ruffled her hair and smiled at her, trying to cheer her up.
みんなも元に戻りました。あなたもすぐに元気になるから安心してください。
The girl nodded relaxedly and began to study Hua with her big, curious eyes.
あなたは仙人様？
私のことを知ってるんですか？
でも似てるの。あの彫像に。
The girl looked over Hua's shoulders.
あの彫像、大巨山の仙人様だってじいじが言ってた。危ないことがあったらいつも現れてみんなを助けるって。あの彫像は先祖様が作ったの。昔はこんな風に壊れてなくてすごく綺麗だった。本当に仙人みたいなの。
簡単なことです。
Hua made a slight wave in the white flesh.
ご覧。
The statue was mended.
これはあなたの記憶の中と同じですか？
The girl closed her eyes and seemed to have fallen into a deep slumber.
彼女を殺したんですか？夢を見てもらったんです。夢の中では今回のことは起きていませんし、すべてが彼女の思うままです。そこで彼女は死ぬまで楽しく生きられます。彼女を助けろと言いましたが、私にはそれくらいしかできません。
Hua stood up and stared into the giant statue.
綺麗ですね。今日は静かですね。何か言いたいことがあるんでしょ？すでに十分に機嫌が悪いので、何を言われてもこれ以上ひどいことにはなりません。言ってみてください。
So she would die in happiness wasn't written but was spoken, apparently.
私は多くの権限権と都政の羽を大巨山に置いたため、通常の崩壊はこの地に影響を及ぼすことはありません。でも私たちがここに来てすぐ崩壊は発生しました。その原因は一つの。もういい。
As she spoke, the fang-hung-down shadow suddenly became blurred and dwindled.
あなたを黙らせるのも消えてもらうのも私の思うままです。あなたは都政の羽。前の世代の律者です。あなたをすぐに壊すべきでした。あなたの言葉は信じません。でも私はあなたを尊重します。あなたが存在すること、そして私のそばにいることを許します。あなたも私の尊重に敬意を払うべきです。私の考えを攪乱するような真似はやめなさい。崩壊。
As Hua walked away, the mighty power that had been oppressively clamping the shadow disappeared. The shadow knew she had very little power left. Even so, there were things she had to do. Hua walked on with her mind occupied by the shadow. Hua could easily break her, but she would not bend to Hua's will. Sometimes Hua would almost feel like the soul rested inside the plume was every bit as real as hers.
彼女に与えすぎてしまったのだろうか。当時の私は何のために彼女を作ったのか。
She knew the answer. Right before death fell upon her, she did everything she could for a sliver of hope.
だから彼女はあんなにリアルなのかな。
Hua looked to the shadow. Yes, that's right. Frail as she seems, her presence is so strong and unique. You should retrieve her.
でもそうしたら彼女は消えてしまう。
She fell silent and began to ponder hard. A moment later, she decided to change the topic.
変だな。こうやって自分と会話するのは久しぶりだ。
You no longer need yourself now that you have company.
ありえない。
Hua first sniffed at her inner voice, and after a while she began to feel the voice was implying something.
私が彼女に支配されてる？私が自我をなくし、羽の傀儡になった？いいえ、彼女は私に影響を与えようとしていない。彼女にはできない。
She is your past. She is pulling you back to the trajectory of your old self. You want that? Do you wish to repeat your old and tragic stories?
嫌だ。
After a brief silence, a low voice inside her head sounded. To conquer the outside world, you must first end your inner struggle. Struggles will be ended next time, in the third part of chapter 21. But the stream does not end here, because there is an interesting event going on currently. Eternal Nightmare is also interesting, but not very unique for watching purposes, I think. But Honkai Lab, Sync Lab, is quite a thing. As you can see, I only did the first stage of these, so we'll do the other 4 now, considering there's only 1 day left to do them. These are a special new kind of co-op event, a co-op battle, where where only 2 players cooperate with each other and each can send 2 Valkyries into the fray. So let's see how that will go. In this one, Ice and Fire, enemies are mainly mech type with an Ignite or Ram Trauma Shield. Defeat all enemies. So, we want to use Fire and Ice characters in this one. And the enemies are Soul Linked. The Soul Linked enemy will revive with a portion of his HP 15 seconds after death if the other Soul Linked enemy is still alive. So they need to be defeated within 15 seconds of each other. Let's see how well Fire Blue does. He has an electric Valkyrie on his team instead of fire and ice. But I guess that won't matter. Maybe.
とことん付き合いましょう。もうすぐ戦場に。
As you can see, the bars above the enemies are filling up when they are attacked with ice and fire respectively. And we are doing a decent job of being in sync, I feel. The HP bar does not matter for them, as they will instantly die when their fire and ice bar is filled. The only problem is if my fire character dies. Because he did not bring one. Oh good, I can revive myself, that's useful. Now we should focus on ice together, I guess. So that we can then kill them close by to each other. This is not going well. Ah, there we go. You were still quite tough. It's not very helpful if your partner does not play fully by the rules. Let's see if we can find someone different for beacon defense. Enemies will attack the central beacon. Protect it. Well, that sounds a lot more easy. Collect 20 items and keep the beacon intact. Some enemies will attack the central beacon. Protect it. Maybe I should have stayed with that other person. People do not exist. The existence of people is questionable at best. Let's create a room ourselves then. Oh. Anyone here to invite? Let's ask. That was an hour ago. That person also wanted to ask me like 3 times. Oh well. People do not exist. It's correct. Might have more luck starting at stage 1 or 2 and going with someone, instead of trying to find someone for stage 3. Let's try that. Well, this is not going as fast as I wanted it to. People's existence is in limbo. I have to start at stage 1. Was I lucky to find someone for stage 2 at all? Oh well. Hi there, please use a fire Valkyrie. Well, the farther you go in, the less people will start at that point, I'm assuming.
こちらです。とことん付き合いましょう。まだまだです。
At least this person brought ice and fire.
まだまだです。勝負はもう決しました。覚悟してください。
And that went a lot better. So, let's see if we can stay with Sini. Stay. Stay! Yay. Beacon defense. Only the team leader can select, but he did. So, where's that beacon? Okay. Do we need to bring them to the center? Yes, we do. Collect beacon, bring to center. Makes sense to me. I hope you're doing a good job protecting the beacon, because I'm doing a good job collecting stuff. I'm assuming a dragon is doing well at protecting. Are you fast at running? Yes, you are fast at running. Getting there. Funny-eyed running, that's for sure. That's the most important part. The funnier you look while running, the quicker you are. And one more.
来航は過去をすべて断ち切る。
So, what's the next challenge? Lethal Thunders. Survive until the countdown ends. Defeat a Titan to grant all teammates a 3 seconds active skill of invincibility. Introduce the countdown. Lightning strikes deal fatal damage to Valkyries. Defeat Titans to shorten clearing time.
私たちは
私と一緒に
So, don't die. Seems to be the main objective.
そろそろ本気出すよ。
Kill a Titan.
シールド。
Kill Titans, avoid lightning.
シールド。
Survival! Or something like that.
すべて断ち切る。
QT boost. Defeat all enemies in this stage. Cute heals deal bonus damage. And let's QT to our heart's content.
そろそろ本気出すよ。ラジャー。シールド。シールド。
Not really getting as many QTs as I hoped. At least Kongming gets to do her thing. Oh well. This mode is a funny idea, I guess. But it sure needs some refinement still. But I guess that was everything I wanted to show off for today. So until next time, when we'll finish off Wings of Reawakening. Yes, also needs people sometimes, and getting people is always a bit questionable in Honkai Impactford. But until next time, this is the end for the stream for today. Thank you for watching, and good night until we return. Bye-bye.